Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Do you want us to put things in the chat for review?
Yeah, if so sorry, I'm running a little bit behind here this morning, but or this afternoon. So welcome. Yes, if you have specific things that you'd like to look at, we always prefer to look at the things that people are here that they care about. So that would be awesome if you have stuff. Otherwise, we'll just look at pull requests. But let's look at this Ojai pull request here, Chris.
Yeah, so this has had like a string. I feel like I'm fundamentally doing something wrong, either in my RSpec tests or like I'm not stubbing something correctly. But according to Lamont and Claire, if I just use shell out like exclamation point, um, the exit code, a non-zero exit code should break me out, and I will, uh, one of my tests will, well, it will pass, but it won't. The specific one I'm talking about is the very last test where it checks to see if it actually created the Rust key under languages. And I keep on getting true despite having what I thought were the right things in there. I haven't pushed up anything uh, for their comments since locally it's failing. So it's the very last test there. Should not set the language as Rust if Rust command fails. Um, if I change that to shell out, like exclamation point, supposedly I should kind of just break out and not even get to mash.new, and everything should be fine. But it ends up still having the key like on line 41 there. I'm not sure if anyone sees anything that might be out of place for why that should still be happening.
Okay, so you're basically saying that if you change line 39 here from mock shellout to shellout bang, you're still getting that it has the Rust key. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I just changed. Oh, let me
Do you
see.
want to? Can you share your screen? We can look at your screen instead of looking at the code. We can see
Uh,
your code in action.
let me see here.
It's so the biggest question.
Yeah, for some reason I can't just share my terminal.
Yeah, you shouldn't believe me. You should believe Lamont and Claire. They're the ones that tell you the right thing, not me.
Yeah, that's not. It doesn't seem to be working for me. Um, I mean, it seems very similar to kind of what other tests are like. Yeah, like the PHP one. I mean, the only real difference is I'm using the let syntax. Also, Claire mentioned that in my actual um, Rust.rb, I had Rust equals match dot new prior to shelling out with Rust.c. And I tried switching that, and it still didn't work. So yeah, line 24 and 25, I tried switching those. Um, Also have another one here that could just use some more eyes on it.
Okay, just before we move on, I guess, Mark, do you have any insight here? No.
No, I don't really know this code too well, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Expect. So it looks like maybe here on 22 you're loading the Rust plugin, right?
Hmm.
And here, yeah, I can see where Claire. So on line 24, if you say Rust equals mash.new, won't that always return a Rust key in your plugin, regardless of anything else that happens?
Yeah, that is a mistake. I did switch that, and
Uh-huh.
it still gets to that point. So supposedly, if shell out um, bang fails with a non-zero exit code, it shouldn't move on to rust equals mash.new. Um, but it still does for whatever reason. And I'll try it again here.
I see. So you switched 24 and 25 and changed SO equals shell out to SO equals shell out bang.
Hmm.
So it should only drop into the conditional if right. I I also don't know the Ojai code very well,
That's fine.
but I wonder about this on line 17 provides languages Rust. Does that I don't know how Ojai plugins work. It could be that immediately creates a Rust key under languages when you declare that it provides that. I am totally just shooting in the dark here. I'm sure you need it,
Mhm.
but I wonder if instead of saying that it doesn't have the key Rust, if you said it didn't have the key Rust version, like that would, I wonder if that would pass or do the expected thing, like fail like you expect it to, or pass like you expect it to.
I could definitely
I don't
give.
know if what I've said is more confusing because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, or if it's helpful.
Oh, I could definitely try that. I mean, I've been modeling all this off of kind of a few other ones. Um, and provides is just something that I've always seen.
Yep. Okay, so I read a half a paragraph in a book, and now I also think that it provides is creating that key for you. Which, if that's the case, then what you're seeing is not unexpected,
Okay.
right? I think my logic is sound there. Yeah, so I think if you just change 41 to say expect plugin languages to not have key Rust version, just like you've done here, then that should fail. And I think that would also tell us that this provides is, in fact, creating that Rust key for you.
Okay.
So I'd give that a try. Oh, and you have another one that we can look at, too. Okay, so let's see what's going on here.
I think you actually were right with the provides thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, let me try it again, just to
Okay.
make sure. That, or I had something massively screwed up. And, okay. I don't know where they was loading these files from, but even with the provides in, I think just the switching it around. Oh wait, I forgot to move the exit status. Yeah, it's still not working. I think I'll just have to play with it for a bit. Just background on this issue. Ed was just looking at through the backlog, and this seemed like an easy fix that Lamont pointed out. One thing that I didn't put in here was any sort of a test. I didn't know how to correctly test this condition since it's so it's only going to throw something like this if for whatever reason you don't have any permissions on the temp holder, or if you're simply completely out of space.
And you were looking for some help on how you might test that, test
Yeah,
for
if,
that case, so that we
yeah, if
could.
someone wants to
Hmm.
help me with that, or if maybe it doesn't require a test, I'm not sure. I mean, the logic seems sound. You can't call close on the null object. Um, I tried looking around um, where this is actually used, and I had difficulty finding the proper thing to stub. Also, I couldn't figure out the error that I was getting from Travis. Which I can no longer get to.
Yeah, because we renamed our.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Chris. Yeah, so I'm able to find matching line from backtrace. I didn't really understand what was happening there.
That? It's not for me to turn on. Okay, someone watch that.
Mark, do you have any ideas here? And Mark, you're on mute, so if you're speaking.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, still reading the code to get up to speed on this stuff. Not anything helpful. I think I'm lagging all of you guys on this one. Um,
All right, Chris. I hate to say it, but I don't think we can help you.
That's no problem.
I can give you some vague advice about the Ojai plugin that maybe helps or not.
Mm,
Uh, and unfortunately, neither Mark nor I are up to speed enough on this.
okay.
So,
Is there any groups that you could ping that might know anything better?
yeah, what I would recommend that we do in both of these instances is we should just page like Lamont into the GitHub issue and see if sorry, I'm trying to just get right back to the right screen. Uh, how about that? That's a start on that one. And then,
Yeah, looks great.
yeah. And what about the Ojai one? Do you want to still play with that a little more? I think calling in Claire for that one would be good.
Yeah, if you'd like to do that, I mean, she'll probably get back to it here soon.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
was
the suggestions she's making and that you're making make sense. I just don't know why. It makes me think that my test is almost broken in a way.
I'd ask her to join us, but I don't see her online right now. All right, and it looks like you responded about an hour ago. So let's give her a little bit of time, and if I would say if she doesn't come back or if you don't sort it out, I would just page Claire back into this and see if she can provide some better advice or additional help.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Justin, or Kenneth, did you have anything specific you wanted to look at today?
No, I'm all good.
Awesome. All right. Well, we got about 15 minutes left. We should probably look at some chef pull requests. So this one has thumbs up from Lamont. I think we should get one more person to thumbs up it. So I'm just going to tag it pending maintainer review. I don't know if the appropriate tag here is incomplete contribution or waiting for contributor response.
I think it's a little of both.
Yeah, right. We could do both, I guess. That's the beauty of tags. I don't have to decide. This looks like an interesting feature. Do any of you use Knife Cookbook Test?
I usually just use Test Kitchen.
Yeah.
To be honest, when I looked at this, I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's not super powerful. All it does is validate the Ruby syntax of your cookbooks, basically.
So it just lints things. Does it run like RSpec at all?
No. It doesn't do any of that stuff. It doesn't lint. It doesn't RSpec. It doesn't chefspec. It doesn't do. The only thing it actually does is make sure that you've written valid Ruby code. Like if you leave off an end or have an extra do or whatever, like then it will totally fail.
I think it picks up garbage in your herb file too, but or
Yeah.
something. That's about it.
Yep. I think that back in the day, before things like Test Kitchen and chefspec, this was like an attempt to give you something.
It was quite useful, but I think we have much better tools now.
Yep. I agree. So I think it just needs one more thumbs up from our maintainer, and then it should be ready to merge. There is the question of breaking backwards compatibility, because it does that too. Probably worth it. Excellent. We have new maintainers here
Yay.
for Windows and for Core. That sounds good. So I would say that the current process for him to become a maintainer on Windows is that Stephen Morawski needs to give him a thumbs up there. And then for him to become a Core maintainer, we need thumbs up from these from a a majority of these folks. So we should page some of them into this. Because that would be awesome.
I had a question at some of this. I was going to bring it up on the Chef developer meeting.
Yeah.
In the original Google Doc for this, there was separate kind of sign-up areas to express interest, and one was like for Chef, and then you had like Chef Dev Tools, but then there was also one for OpsCode, or I guess Chef-owned cookbooks, and I didn't really ever see any like an RFC or anything specifically for that. I didn't know.
To become a maintainer of a chef-owned cookbook.
Yeah.
So we've been doing a couple of things there. One thing that we've been doing is if you feel strongly about being a maintainer of a chef-owned cookbook, if you feel strongly enough, we might very happily let you take on ownership of that cookbook. But if you want to do something short of that and just become a maintainer of the cookbook, we don't really have a formal process for that right now. And that the RFC really talks about chef software, and our intent was to start with like the major chef components and make sure that this process kind of sticks and then expand it out to cookbooks. I think that we're probably no more than a month or two away from saying that we should just start following the same process for cookbooks. But I would say that if there's a specific cookbook that you'd like either to take on as an owner or to have the commit bit for and be a maintainer of that cookbook, that we'd be very much open to supporting that.
Okay. Yeah, I was more interested in kind of in the latter, just having like commit bit. There's a few cookbooks that seem kind of orphaned in a way.
Yeah. Please let us know which ones you'd like, and we can work with you. So Sean O'Mara is the one who's kind of been leading up most of the cookbook effort over the last year or so, the cookbooks that Chef owns, and I know that he would be happy to have you jump in there.
Okay. It's kind of just like your name at chef.io for the email address?
Yeah, it would be. I'll drop it in the. I'll drop it in the chat for you.
All right, thanks a lot.
Excuse me. You could also just send a mail to cookbooks@chef.io, and Sean will definitely see that.
Okay.
I love the concept. It's a cool thing. I don't know why it might break the build though.
What is mail map?
So he describes it here in this comment. It allows Git to map multiple name and email combinations to a single author. So you can dump, you can put a file, which he's done here in this commit, a mail map file, and then it says Dan DeLeo uses all of these various email addresses, and so I just like with Ojai, I'm going to just say words. I have no idea if they're true, but my guess is that this line 1 here is a comment. Line 2 is here's the canonical username that you should use for this person, and then this is that canonical username maps also to Dan DeLeo at mac.com and Dan at Celestic.com and Dan at Getchef.com, and then we can like say, oh, all of those were commits from Dan, regardless of his local Git config when he did the push.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that way, instead of having, like, I don't know, like it's a small thing, but as he mentioned in this thing, instead of having 553 contributors, he knocked it down to 502. It's not any fewer committers. It's just we're smarter about the kitchen SSH issues. That seems like a weird thing. It's okay. He can change it all to chef.io and run that test again. See what happens. All right, that brings us to time. I know we started late, but we're going to end on time-ish. Yeah. Thank you for coming, Chris. I wish we could have given you a little bit better support.
It's no problem. Actually, Lamont commented already on the pull request under Chef, so I can definitely get started on that.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah, I know he's a bit under the weather, which makes him not fit for YouTube consumption, but also makes him, I think, a little bit more productive in the background. So that's cool.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right. Yeah, thanks, Chris. And thanks again for stopping by. See ya.